Hello, welcome to this video. So in this video we're going to be working on the front-end templating include engine. So what do I mean by that? So if you've used Node.js or Flask or Django, you will know you can split your front-end code. So what do I mean by split your front-end code? For example, these three websites are same websites, so we have some things that are similar in both of them, like the navigation bar. The navigation bar is same in the three pages. So what you could do if you're using Node.js is that you put a nav partials, it's called partials, then use an include statement to include it in your code, right? But right here, when you're working on the front-end project, you don't have access to that. So what's the problem I'm actually going to solve here? Project here, open in VS Code. These are the three pages. So here's the problem. If I want to make a change in this nav bar, for example, I want to make a change in change this home text to something else, I'll have to go through the three pages and make the change, which is not good. What you would have been using in Node.js or Flask is that you create a navbar.html file separately, and what you just have to do is include it in this file. So this that's the problem we are going to be solving. We don't want to be going through all our pages to fix one single problem. So what I've done here is I've created a folder. It's called Frontend Partials. So what this folder contains is, this is the way I am going to be using the solution I'll be making. So I have a script, partials.js, which is empty, which we are going to be coding up, by the way. And by the way, I haven't coded this up before, so this is kind of a live code stuff. So I have the partials imported, and I have the navigation. The div with the ID of navigation is empty right now. Also a footer, a div with an ID of footer, and it's also empty. So what I want to be able to do is use an include, navigate, use JavaScript to import the nav bar down here. So you see the include function. What the include takes in is a navigate, a query selector which selects where you want to put your partials. Then second parameter is the partials, the folder you want to put in. So this include statement is not made. So if you check the partials.js, it's currently empty. So that's what we are going to be working in this video. This is just a live code. I haven't done this before. I just thought this would be the best way to implement this. So I'm going to work on this include. So this is where I plan on going. So the include statement to take in these two parameters, and because we know JavaScript can't open a file yet because it does not run on the terminal or in your laptop, it runs in the browser. So what we're going to be doing is using a fetch request to fetch this file, and we're going to be inserting it right here. So let's get going. So at the end of this project, I am looking forward to making this a what they call it. So at the end of this project, I'm looking forward to making this its own library so other people can use it. I'm going to publish it. So we are going to work on the include function. So I'm just going to put function using the snippet, press tab. I'm going to use include. I'm going to take in query, I'm going to call this query string, and partial file. So I'm using the camel case here. So let me just open this in the live server with live server. So you see this just the h1 text and the p text that is in the index, the h1 text and the p text that is in the index of HTML. Right now navigation, nothing is showing. the footer, nothing is showing. So it's our job right now to make this work. So let's get going. So firstly, I will be getting the item in the page in our HTML using the query string. So I'll call this a constant element. By the way, I haven't done this before, so you have to be patient with me. Document dot query selector. I'm going to pass in the query string, so that's the element. We're going to use the fetch request to fetch the partial file, which is this. So if you notice, I can open this navbar with live server. This okay, it's now it's getting open. So you can see is /partial/navbar. So what I'm going to do is use a fetch request, fetching this URL, and I'm going to insert it there. So that makes sense. If that makes sense to you, we'll continue. Okay, so I'm going to close this. So we'll continue. So I'm going to use the fetch request, which is the partial file, which is the second argument. Partial file. I'm going to put in the partial file, and we do the dot then, since this will return a promise, and I'm going to say data. Oh, okay, I'm making a mistake. Data.json. This will return another promise. You have to do a dot then again. I'm going to call this result, right? So let's just log this result out for now, and let's see what we get. Not a string result, but a variable results. By the way, I'm sorry, I'm going to increase the text so you can see clearly. I think this is okay. So I'm going to inspect and see. Go to the console. So here we see unexpected token nav is not valid. So this is working. So let me, instead of console.logging it, let me console.write it. So let's see. We should write it here. I think there's a okay. I think it's working. It's returning us the nav bar. So what I'm going to do is do element dot to the element dot inner HTML. Okay, I think this should be capital letter, and I'm going to set not a string. I'm going to set it to the result. So fingers crossed. Let's see if this works. Okay, seems not to be working. So by the way, the things here are from my extension. I have too many extensions I'm using, so they usually log things to the console. I'm going to refresh and see if this is working. So I'm trying to see. Let me see if the partial is loaded. Yes, it's loaded. So what might be going on here? Let me see if I can alert this. Oh, I also have to do the dot error in case, not dot error, dot cache, to catch any error that is coming in, and I'm going to log it to the console. So in case there's any error coming in, I'm going to refresh. Okay, refresh automatically. Let's check out the console. So we see the partials.js, it says unexpected token less down. So it's talking about, if you check the nav bar, we have this less down. So I guess that's the error. It's not JSON. Definitely it's not JSON. So that's HTML. How do we tell our program we are looking for HTML code? So I'm going to pause this this recording, and I'm going to figure it out and continue. Right. After a little bit of researching, I discovered I found the issue. So you can see the error why this is not working is because the error is not a valid JSON. So in our code we are expecting a JSON response. So right from here, from the first promise, what we are returning is the type of JSON. So what this second promise is expecting is a JSON rather. So if we know we are not expecting a JSON, so we are expecting a HTML file. So right here in the code, there's actually a method which is .text. You can see it here. Just click tab, put your brackets, and fingers crossed. Let me console this to the console. I'm going to comment this line for now, and I'm going to just console.log results, that's ALT. Okay, let's see it. Okay, fine. So now it's coming to just a silly error. We learn every day, by the way. So since that's working, I'm just going to uncomment this line, slide this line away. Okay, so we are expecting our nav bar now. So it's there. God. So I've gotten what I wanted. I actually thought this would take longer than expected. Like it's going to take like an hour or something. But it seems to be very easy. By the way, I didn't plan, that's why. So this is just a simple program. So right in our index file, what we are doing is we're using the include function. The include function is taking in the query selector, which is the navigate, and it's taking in the partial. So it's going to take in what's the file from this partial and putting in any element specified there. So that's for the number. So I'm going to create another file called footer just to demonstrate that this is working, just to be sure that this is working for any other file. And what I'm just going to do is footer with a p tag, the good old at copyright 2023, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to create, from the index file, I'm going to, the footer is there. I'm just going to copy this and paste, and I want to put this in an ID of footer, which is this div here, and the file is footer.html. I'm expecting it here. It's loading. So we have the footer and we have the navbar. So I think the issue I introduced has been fixed. So if I create a new file, I don't have to go through all the files to change the navbar. I just have to come to navbar.html, change the content in here, and the content in here